Hello and welcome to Relatively Crafty, a knitting podcast. I'm your host, Christy. I come to you from the Denver area of Colorado, where I live with my husband, Ron, our two daughters, Tatum and Delaney, our tuxedo kitty, Lilu, our tuxedo kitty, Lilu, and our Padango puppy, Sophie. Welcome. I'll ask you to forgive all of this hot mess. I am still trying to beat Omicron. We managed to avoid COVID for 2 years nearly, and then Delaney brought it home from school in the middle of January, and she likes to share her germs really nicely, and so it didn't take long before the remaining three of us also got it, and I seem to have gotten it the worst of the four. Everybody else is back to pretty much 100%, and I still sound really congested and whatnot. And I do okay during the day, but at night I get all just like my head just gets thick. I don't know how to say it. My nose gets all stuffed up. It's not like I'm actually, it's more like swelling than it is actually, like snot, not to be gross. But anyway, so that is the reason why I didn't podcast last week. I had really wanted to, but yeah, just wasn't feeling up for it. And then I almost put it off this week too, but I really have some things that I want to share with you guys, some things that I have finished that I'm very excited about. And so yeah, I wanted to do that. So here I am doing it. And before I go into the knitting, I wanted to say that Lisa at Hey Country Creations has offered another giveaway. She's so generous with her giveaways. Basically, you just need to make a comment down below. Any comment will do, and I'll do a drawing. It's basically, you can pick one thing out of her shop. I'm putting up some pictures of some things that she's got. She's got some really cute, like Valentine's themed beaded stitch markers and progress keepers right now. She also said that, what did she say? Oh, you can choose between progress keepers and earrings now, which is kind of cool. So, and then she's also got a coupon going on right now, Be Mine 22. I'll put that here. That's 10% off until Valentine's Day, February 14th. So you got about 9 days left to use that. Lisa's beaded stuff, they're just adorable. I have a plethora of them, and I use them all the time because I just absolutely love them. So highly recommend that you check out her shop and enter, to win, because I'll pick a comment on my next podcast, and you can pick one thing from her shop, which is kind of cool. So now let's get into the knitting. Oh, if you are looking for me on Ravelry, I am Christy-Layel, and on Instagram, I am Christy Layel without the dash. And I am a knitter, and that is what I do. So this is all the things that I have recently finished. I'm currently working on. Maybe I'll put in some things that I'm planning on starting, and then some things that I have recently acquired that I'm in love with. So let's start with the things that I have finished. If you guys recall, on I think it was my last podcast, which was the first one for the year, I talked about, there was like six or seven projects that I wanted to get done, that were carryovers from last year. And I am very happy to say that I have made some good progress on that. So, I feel like I have, while I haven't been great lately with, like housekeeping or staying awake past 8 p.m. since I got sick, I have been making progress on things that I wanted to get finished in the knitting world, which is good. First one of those is this pair of socks. This is one of the leftovers from last year. I started these, I think, in September, maybe. The yarn is Knitterly Things Vesper Sock in Sleeping Pumpkin Patch, and I wanted them for autumn socks. Obviously did not finish them for autumn, but I will have them for next autumn, and let's be honest, I'm going to wear them now because they're adorable. I did these with my normal stripey recipe, a Turkish toe cast on toe up. I did a true afterthought heel here, and then 1x1 ribbing with Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. I do the true afterthought heel on all my stripy socks because I like them to retain the integrity of the stripes, and so you can do that with a true afterthought heel. And of course I made them match exactly, which is always my favorite thing to do with stripies, although I don't always do that. I have another pair of socks that I wanted to get finished. That was a carryover from last year, and that I actually only had 2 pairs of socks, and I've managed to get both of them finished, which is good because I really have not been very sock-minded lately. That's not what I've wanted to knit. I have wanted to knit other things. So I've given myself permission to kind of put socks on the back burner, as it were, but I did want to get these finished, and it actually worked out well during January, because that is, if you've watched the podcast anytime in the past couple of years, my work, my department, I'm an accountant, my department files all the 1099s for the previous year for all of the Colorado offices, and therefore there are a lot of them, and they are due by January 31st. So January is that much more intense in my department because we are trying to get the bookkeeping cleaned up for the prior year for the tax returns, and we have our regular monthly duties, and then we have the 1099s on top of that. So so the socks were actually great for January because I only had these small amounts of time with which to knit, because I was working late, long hours and coming home and being exhausted. And yes, getting COVID in the middle of January was not the optimal thing to do. And I had to apologize to my boss because she did say, in like December, she's like, the worst thing that could happen is if we all got COVID during January, and we didn't all get COVID. I was the only one. Thankfully, I have a job where I can work from home, so those days that I was sick, I was working from home, and my boss is an amazing person, and so she was very understanding of me getting COVID, and let me work as little as I needed to on those days when I felt really, really poorly. So, but all that to say, working on these, finishing up these socks was a great thing to do in January. So this is the other pair that I got finished that was a carryover from 2021. This is also Knitterly Things Vesper Sock. This is, the colorway is the Holly and the Ivy. If you recall, I'm trying to knit 31 pairs of Christmas socks with which to wear every day in December. This is pair 29. I had every intention to finish it last year, and I didn't. And I'm okay with that. So I have 2 more pairs that I've got to knit, and I will knit them eventually, and it's going to happen when it happens. I'm just kind of letting myself feel it. It's no fun to force yourself to knit something that you're not looking forward to. And right now, socks is not that thing. So, same thing as the others. Turkish toe cast on, true afterthought heel, 1x1 ribbing, Jenny surprisingly stretchy bind off, and they are done. So now I have 2 projects that I had carried over from last year that are fully complete, and that's a nice feeling. But wait, there's more. Another thing that I wanted to finish as a carryover was a pair of gloves that I had started for my mom. She wanted to have a pair that had I think it was just these 2 fingers on one hand, on the right hand, open so that she could play her games on her tablet. And so she had asked me to knit a pair like that. I am not the biggest fan of knitting fingers on gloves, but when your mother, who, bore you and, kept you alive for your entire youth, asks you to make something for her, you do it, of course, and you do it happily. So that was another pair that I needed to finish, and I did. I don't have a great picture, and I don't have them with me anymore because she took them as soon as they were done. But here is a picture of them completed, and they do what she needs them to do, and she is happy, and that is the important thing. So yeah, so that pair is also done. I don't have a lot to say about them. I knit them out of Yarn Cafe Creations in her. It's a base she doesn't carry anymore. I bought the yarn probably in 2018, maybe 2019, a while back, and when she was still really new. So it's a yarn base that she doesn't carry anymore, and it was a rather thick fingering, and the colorway was Kelpie. So yeah, I got those finished, and that was not a pattern. It was just something I came up with out of my head. They were, just basically took like with my socks, I took a recipe of all the gloves that I've made in the past and kind of put them together and made the gloves for Mom. I have another pair of gloves to show you. This was something else that I was supposed to have knit in 2021 and never got around to, so I finally got them done as well. This was a request from a friend of mine. Her daughter plays hockey, and she spends a lot of time sitting in the hockey rink. If you've never been in a hockey rink, it's cold because of all the ice that they need for the hockey. So she wanted a pair of gloves that would allow her to use her phone while she's waiting for her daughter to finish practice and games, but still keep her hands warm and be mitteny. And so I put together these for her. I knit these out of Chasing Rabbits fiber in her fern base, which is her fingering weight. The colorway is Colorful November. She does, I don't know if they're still doing it, but for like 2019 and 2020, 2021, somewhere around there, they commissioned a color of the month from Chasing Rabbits, and so I have a lot of them because they were adorable, and this is one of them. I think this was November 2021, so last year's November. And again, I did not have a pattern. I just kind of did it out of my head. I did the normal thumb gusset, and then when it came time to do the finger, I took one finger off and knit it mostly, and then made the rest into a mitten, and kind of just went like that. These are awesome. I mean, I didn't come up with the idea. She asked for this. She wanted it to be mostly mittens, and then to have these fingers out for her phone, and it was easy for me to make that happen. But seriously, I need a pair for myself because these are perfect. These are, I mean, you have enough to be able to pick up things and grab, like the downfall of mittens is that you're kind of stuck without being able to hold on to certain things, and I can this way, and then I can, you can use a phone, and you can, things that you have to be able to actually touch, you can touch, and yet the part of the reason why mittens work so nicely to keep your hands warm more than gloves is because there's air in there that helps keep your fingers warm, and so you kind of get the advantage of mittens and the advantage of gloves and the advantage of fingerless gloves. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to make a pair for myself. And when I posted these on Instagram, several people asked me to write up a pattern, so I think I'm going to do that. When I make the next pair, I'll write up a pattern. I'll just put it free on Ravelry. I'm not, I do not have the patience nor the attention span nor the druthers to become a real designer, and so I don't need to. I just yeah. This stuff is so simple. Yeah. You basically, if you've knit any gloves, you could probably figure out how to do these on your own. But I'm happy to write it out and post it on Ravelry. So anyway, that's what these are. I am hoping to give them to her very soon because of COVID. I haven't been able to. They've been done for a while, and yeah, I'm just waiting for, because she got sick herself, so not with COVID, with something else. So we've been avoiding each other lately. And I wanted to just show you how unbelievably awkward these things look when they're not on hands. They just, I don't know, it looks like some kind of sweater for an alien or an iguana or something. So anyway, but this was fun and easy to make, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to make a pair for myself. And I realized that yet again, this past week when it was a -7 degrees when I left for work, and I had to clear all the snow off my car, and it was -7 degrees, and I was cold. I had a sweater and a cowl and a knitted hat and this great jacket, and so my body, and knit socks and boots and whatnot, my body was very warm. But as I've mentioned before, my children have stolen all of my gloves, and they are now spread to the wind. I have no idea where they are, and so my hands were very, very cold. I basically scrape snow off with one hand for a minute, and then switch hands, put the other one in my pocket and scrape, and then switch and put the other one in my pocket, and yeah, and hoped the best to not get frostbite. I have one more fully finished object, and that is a pair. It's not a pair. It's a hat that I knit on a whim. I am trying to do eatsleepknit.com is an online online yarn store that also has a physical presence, I guess. I think they're in Illinois, and they have a contest every year, and I keep wanting to be a part of it, and I never do. And it involves knit-alongs, and it involves yardage that you purchase from their shop, and they have special prizes and stuff like that, and it's fun. I've bought enough yarn to get pretty far over the past years, but I've never really done any of the knit-alongs, and I just wanted to. So I saw that for the first quarter they had a brioche knit-along, or craft-along, because you could crochet as well, and I looked at what I had that came from Eat Sleep Knit, and I had these yarns, which worked out nicely for a brioche hat. So I knit the Fling, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think it's supposed to be a combination of niece and nephew, and yeah, so the Fling. Anyway, this was a very fun pattern. I've forgotten the name of the designer, but I will put it here. And I really, really enjoyed it. You knit it using double knitting for the brim. So you're knitting both sides at the same time in 2 different colors, which was fun, and the first time that I'd actually double knit, which I kind of liked a lot. So I definitely could see myself doing that. I think I enjoy double knitting more than I enjoy stranded knitting. So I might try doing some more of it, and seeing if that works for me better than doing some stranded things, because there's lots of things that I like the look of with stranded, but don't always enjoy the making of. And if I can kind of transpose it into a double knitting project instead, then maybe that'll work out nicely for me. But anyway, you start, as I said, you start with double knitting and then you go into brioche. So it is a fully reversible hat. And I didn't think about this when I was making it, but one of my friends asked me, as I posted on Instagram, if I am a Gryffindor. I'm not. I'm a Ravenclaw. But these were the colors that I had that worked for brioche for stuff that I had from Eat Sleep Knit. So so it worked out. It worked out well. They just happened to be Gryffindor colors. They are also happened to be my high school colors. Maroon and gold were my high school colors. So you can wear it as a slouchy, you know, like this. I am not a slouchy hat person, so I will wear it as a beanie. And in fact, I wore it on that day when it was super cold outside, and it was very nice and comfortable and warm. And I like the fact that I can wear it the other way should the need arise that I want to wear it these colors instead. I can easily do so. But yeah, it's super comfy and warm. The brioche, of course, is very squishy and lovely and very comfortable. And then because you have a double knit brim that I'm folding over, my ears are very warm, which is very nice. So I highly recommend this pattern. It was like $4, I think. But yeah, the knee fling. And like I said, I will hopefully link it below. But highly recommend. Super fun. Okay, I have one semi-finished object left. It's not fully finished, but if you guys recall, one of the other things that I had been working on from leftover from 2021 was my ugly Christmas sweater version 2. And I have finished the knitting of it. So it is knit completely and sewn together, and all the ends have been woven in, and it is ready for the ugly part, which will be this Christmas tree. This is, yeah, I don't think I'm giving away anything, but this is what I will put on the front. I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to wait and do that. Actually, somebody suggested on a comment in my last podcast that I do it for Christmas for July, and I kind of like that idea, so I think I might do that. I've knit this out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. This is Garnet Heather, this is Everglade Heather, and this is Cloud, I believe. Yeah, I had to cinch up the collar a bit to get the right stitch count and to keep it a crew neck, which is what I definitely wanted. And you can kind of see that it's pulled it in a bit. And at first I was like, well, maybe I should tear that out and do it again. But then I thought, you know what, it's supposed to be an ugly sweater, so let's just let it be ugly. And so I'm leaving it. So yeah, I don't have much else to say about it, except for that it's done, or at least the knitting part of it is, and eventually the rest of it will be too. It's just kind of hanging out now until then. Okay, that is all the things that I have finished. I do have some works in progress. one of them is a pair of socks, and before you say, but Christy, you said that you didn't have any sock mojo. I don't have any sock mojo, but I still need something to take to work on during my lunch, and socks are the easiest thing to do that with, therefore, and so on. So I have a pair that I kind of work on just during lunch. It is this pair. Those are bright, aren't they? This is Grundle Hot Socks, Diamond Merino, and I love this yarn. It's a workhorse yarn, like Opal or Regia. I think it's 25/75. Yeah, 75% superwash virgin wool and 25% polyamide or nylon. But these colorways are amazing, and it's only the Hot Socks Diamond that does this. A lot of the other ones are just regular stripies like Opal or Regia, or they have a very basic self-patterning. But these diamond ones are awesome because you can see there's definite, I mean, there's a pattern. It follows a repeatable pattern, but there's something to the chaos in the colors that they put together, and I absolutely love it. This is the third pair that I have made. Let's see if I can post pairs number 1, which was for Ron, and then pair number 2, which was for me. And I just love them. I love the way they look. So I have the second one going, because they're 50-gram balls, so I'm knitting them both separately. And you can see here, I have not matched them up. I did that on purpose. I don't feel like there's a need to match them up because they are so chaotic anyway, so why not have them mismatched as well. I have rounded the corner of the heel on the second sock. This one is the one that has been going with me to work. This one I was working on when I was home with COVID. So yeah, that's what I've been kind of working on. You can see I'm getting close to the end of this one. I do have one more set. Uh, 50-gram balls with this yarn, and that is this one. This is colorway 02. I didn't say this is colorway 07. So I don't know if you can hear it. There's like somebody riding a little motorcycle outside. There's some kind of little motor running outside, and it's driving me crazy. That's why I keep looking back. I'm sorry. But anyway, I don't have any more after I finish this pair, and I feel like I need more, but I haven't been able to find it again. So yeah, if you see it, grab some for yourself because it's a great price, and I love the way they knit up. I initially heard about them from the Stranded podcast, and I think if you're in the UK or Europe, you'll probably have an easier time finding it. I, of course, only have, American experiences, so they're harder to come by here in the States. And the last thing that I have been actively working on is my Shifty. This is one of the other projects that was left over from 2021 that I have been trying to get finished, and I was making great progress on it until December when I decided to make my Christmas sweaters, and so I put it on hold all through December, and then it continued to stay on hold until I finished the knitting on my ugly Christmas sweater. And then it took me a little while to get back into the swing of the Shifty, but once I did, it's very, very easy and kind of addictive, because it's like knitting something with stripes, because you make there's big blips and then there's little blips, and each blip is only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rows. And so you're like, well, let me just keep just finish this blip. I'll just finish this blip. And then, you know, you get to the next blip and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll knit this next blip. And it makes you feel like you're really making progress because you see it growing. Here it is. As you can see, it is growing. This right there, that's where I was the last time you guys saw it. So I've really only been working on it for the past week or maybe two. So I've put several blips in there since then. And according to the pattern, I only have like 3 more blip sections to go before it's time to bind off, or to start the ribbing rather for the hem. But I don't want it to be a cropped sweater. I'm not planning to wear it with a sweater, with a skirt like Andrea Mowry did in hers. So I'm going to make it quite a bit longer. In fact, I am basically going to make it until I run out of the purple. So I am knitting this out of Wonderland Fibers in the March Hare base, no, the Mad Hatter base, which is their sport. And the main color is Eat Me, Drink Me. It's like a purple leaning gray rather. And then I have one skein of Phantom Wise, which is this dark purple. And then I had a mini set in 5 Million Kisses, which is all the other shades of purple. And I have this much left of the mini set. These 3 basically have enough to make a single blip section on their own, so I can get at least 3 more. And then I think, because there are some colors that are close enough together, like these 2, and like these 2, or even kind of these 3, I might be able to get an extra out of the leftovers, like get half in this one and then half in whatever's left in this one, and vice versa. So and then I have enough to do at least 2 or 3 more blip sections in the Phantom Wise. So I've been doing the Phantom Wise every 3rd section. So that's it, and then that's it, and then I just finished a section with it. So I think I should be able to get, you know, 7 or more blip sections still. And that should give me the opportunity to make it long enough. And then I can make the hem as long as I really want to, because I have, this is what I've basically been working on about since I finished taking the sleeves off. And then I have this skein, which is most of one, and then I have a whole other full skein over there. So I have plenty to make it long enough if I choose, excuse me, if I choose. And so I'm basically going to go until I run out of purple, and then make the hem however long I need to after that. But I do love it. I think it's really pretty. I know that Andrea Mowry made it out of I can't think of the name of the yarn that she used, but it's meant to look like handspun, or maybe it is handspun, but it's got these long, like, barber pole repeats and whatnot, and so it gives it a very mottled but gradual shifting look, hence the name Shifty. I kind of like it color blocked like this. So yeah, I'm really happy. This was, I took the 8-bit sweater that I had been working on. I had almost 2 full sleeves on, and I tore it out, and I made this instead, and I'm really glad that I did. So that is all but 2 of the projects that I wanted to get finished here at the beginning of the year. Once I finish my Shifty, or even maybe before, I'm going to get back into working on these Northman mitts, because, as I said, my hands were freezing earlier this week when it was so cold outside. And I realize it probably won't get that cold again this year, but gosh, it would have been so nice to have these. So I am kind of getting them out and ready to go in the next round, you know. Okay. So let's talk about things. I wanted to, you guys remember my Christmas Advent sweater that I was knitting in December. I knitted out of, it's the Gartrell cardigan, and I knitted out of a DK weight Advent calendar that I'd gotten from Big Sky Yarn, and I very much loved making it, and I wear it all the time. I absolutely love it. It's so comfortable, and it goes with so many things because of all the colors that are in it, and I just love it. It's really that and my ugly Christmas sweater #1, which is this one that I made out of all of the leftover Christmas yarns for my socks. I wear these the most out of anything I've ever made. So yeah, I definitely see that marled and cobbled together colors and stuff like that totally works for me. So when Nicole, if you loco, had a Christmas Day sale, I jumped right on to that and grabbed this. So this is her August birthstone. She did a birthstone of the month, like mini collection each month last year, and this is the August, which is the Peridot. Yeah, I think that's how you say it, Peridot. I just love the colors. Nobody I know is born in August. My birthday is in May, so my birthstone is actually emerald, but I liked this color collaboration more. So this is in DK. This is her this is like her regular mini in DK. So there's 20 gram minis in here, and because I happen to know her since I've knit for her, I was able to like ask if she had any more of them, because there was only one available that I could find online. Well, she had 850s, so I was able to buy this as well. So these are 50 grams, so I basically have 70 grams of each color that I can use to make another Gartrell. I'm not sure yet if I've decided to make the cardigan again, or if I want to make the pullover. Either way, I'm going to use these to do that, and it's going to be stripy and beautiful, and I'm super excited about it. But I am holding off because I have to get the other things finished, and I've got all of this yarn here. You guys, I don't think you guys can see. I'm going to move you. Hang on. That's all my sweater yarn in these cubbies here. And then that stuff there, that's my sock yarn. So I have lots of sweaters that I want to make, and I keep looking at these beautiful bags of yarn. I'm like, yeah, let's get started on that one. And then I buy another sweater quantity of something, and I'm like, oh no, let's make that one instead. I do think this is something that I picked up. This is spun right round. I think I'm going to make this into another love note without the mohair. It's a DK weight yarn, and I think this is enough. I wear my love note a decent amount. I would wear it even more if it wasn't with mohair. And I know that you have the option of making it with fingering weight and mohair held together to get the DK, or making it just out of DK. So I definitely think I want to make another one of those, because I do really like that pattern. And so that is kind of like something that I want to knit right away. And then I still have one more sweater, the Fargo sweater, which is sitting and left over from 2021, actually 2020, I think. So I really need to get on that one as well. Yeah. And let's see, what else did I get? Oh, I watch Tony of TLC Yarn Craft. She's a crocheter. She's awesome. I love her to death, and I love the things that she makes. I don't crochet a lot, but I always want to. And she was talking recently about her 2021, what's it called? Temperature blanket that she had crocheted. A lot of them are made using stripes. You know, it's just knit or crocheted across, and it's just like granny stripes or single crochet across. And I've never been really keen on them. One year she did like panels, long columns that she then sewed together, and that I liked a little bit better, but still not enough. I think in 2020 she did like hexagonal things, and I didn't care for that at all, especially the amount of work that seemed to go into it. She also says that she kind of regrets that. But in 2021 she did linen stitched crocheted squares, and that I was just in love with. It's an amazing looking blanket, and I love the fact that you make 12 of them, and there's like, I think 35 rows, you know, rounds on the square, and so it doesn't matter how many days are in the month, because there's always going to be a little bit of a neutral color around the outside for those last couple of days, the last couple of rounds, because you have, you know, 1 round per day, and there's a maximum of 31 for each month, but you have 35 for the square. And I just really liked it. I love the colors she picked out, and so I've decided to try it. I have to learn how to crochet the linen stitch squares, and then I have to like do it. But she was doing it like 1 month at a time instead of daily and trying to keep up with it, and I like that idea a lot more. So I went to Knit Picks, and I picked out the colors. These are my basic colors that I'm going to use. This will be my neutral, which will be like those last few days of the month, and I've got these matched to different weather days. They were just colors that I liked, so I'm not doing like a rainbow or anything like that. And yeah, sometime here in the first quarter I should learn how to do the linen stitch, and then I can get the historical data for the temperatures. I think I'm going to go with the highs, and I can do the thing. Anyway, that's something I'm thinking about. And I got 2 of each of these. Oh, I didn't say, this is Knit Picks Swish DK. All different kinds of colors. I'm not gonna go through those, but yeah, I just kind of picked 2 of each, and we'll see where that goes. I'm sure I can find some use for them. Swish is a decent yarn. It's 100% superwash merino, so you know, it's nice and soft, and will be good for anything. If I decide that I don't want to make a blanket, I can make something else out of it. Heck, it's a DK weight. I could make another gartrell out of it. Yeah, I think that's it. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for these, 40 minutes or so. And I hope you have a wonderful February. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. And, yeah, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and happy knitting. Bye.